Start. Mr. Deputy Chairman, as my honorable friend Sri Nair said just now that this bill is a good one so far as it goes, and I may add that actually what we have been demanding for a long time by way of such changes in the Act has been embodied in it now. At the end of the year 1983, we did discuss in this House certain amendments to the Employees Provident Fund Act, and at that time I had insisted that plantations should be included in the schedule of the industries which come within this measure. Now, at last, this has been done, and now the scope of the Act can be extended by the government to establishments or industries which are not, strictly speaking, factory industries. So, I welcome this measure, but it has come very late. Though it has come very late, I do not say that this measure will not benefit the workers. It will no doubt benefit workers, but as my honorable friend has rightly pointed out, the space at which progress has been made in this direction has been very slow. The manner of implementation also has been very slow, and unless those factors are taken into consideration, the good that will come out of this measure for the workers will not be very effective. As regards plantations, again after 1953, a long time has elapsed, and then in the last Industrial Committee on Plantations, it was agreed that this measure will be extended to the plantations. A large number of workers, nearly a million or more, who are employed in the plantations were denied the benefit of this act. It was agreed in August 1985 that this act will be extended to plantations. But even after that agreement in the Industrial Committee, in which the planters also were present and they also had subscribed to that agreement, such a long time had to elapse for bringing forward this amending legislation. Government has extended by notification the provisions of the Employees Provident Fund Act to factories and to tea gardens only recently, perhaps 2 or 3 months back. That could have been done immediately after that agreement was arrived at in that matter. Also, such a long time was taken by government, and it was necessary to amend the existing parent act. In 1953, when we had suggested the expansion of the number of industries in the first schedule, we also suggested to the government that they should take powers to do so, and that the powers which we were proposing to the government to take could be exercised in consultation with the industries and interests concerned through the industrial committees and other committees. But it has taken such a long time. The extension of the provisions of the Employees Provident Fund Act to only the factories and the plantations covers only a very small fraction of the plantation workers. Secondly, besides the question of the pace of progress, there are some other questions also. There was an agreement in the Standing Labour Conference when this question was discussed that the provisions of this act will be extended to industries employing 1,000 persons, and the industries come under that category as, for instance, rice mills, cashew nut factories, core factories, and other factories. Then there are the seasonal factories. It may be said that work in these seasonal factories is of a seasonal nature, and therefore it is difficult to extend the provisions of this act to workers in those factories. But in that connection, also it may be pointed out that even in these seasonal factories, the same workers are generally employed in the next season when the factory opens and begins to work, and it should be the endeavor of the government to see that the same workers are employed. Therefore, the break in the period of work need not come in the way of the extension of the provisions of this act to these workers. Anyway, it is good that the government has taken powers to extend the provisions of this act to non-factory industries, and I hope these provisions will be implemented without further delay and that the pace will be speeded up. There are a few other points which I would like to touch. My honorable friend has already pointed out the question of forfeiture. Under the present scheme, a worker forfeits the employer's contribution to the fund not only when he retires or leaves the factory prematurely, but also in case of dismissal or disciplinary action. It is a moot point whether there should be this forfeiture even in the case of dismissal or disciplinary action for the worker, full stop.